Traumatic emotional injury. It's something that I think affects almost all of us. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you were abused emotionally at some point? Well, if your answer to that is no, my life has been perfectly wonderful and peachy, and I've never been hurt, I'd consider that to be the exception. And if that's your situation, well, congratulations to you. But for the rest of us, we carry around some pain, we carry around some hurt, and it can really be corrosive in our lives. So I'd like to offer some thoughts that I have on this subject. And what makes me an expert? Well, just over half a century of lived experience. And I've done my share of self-actualization, meditation, the self-work. And I'm a guy who just likes to figure things out. I don't have all the answers, but I have some ideas. And here's my idea. I want to give you a metaphor. When you were a small child, you were full of love, full of trust, and the world was an amazing and wonderful place. And you find yourself on this hill overlooking a beautiful meadow where you're enjoying the birds, the animals, watching the sunrise, watching the sunsets, and life is wonderful. And along comes somebody who you think seems pretty cool. And so you say, hey, come have a seat with me. Enjoy this life. We'll have fun together. And they do. And this person could be a great person who just maybe lacks some skills. Because we go to school for over a decade, and one of the things that they don't spend much time on is teaching the tools to properly navigate this life. They teach us lots of stuff that probably isn't very important, but some of the important stuff they tend to skip over. This is one of them. Or this guy or girl who decides to come and sit with you for a while and join you on this life. Maybe they aren't so good. Maybe they're a narcissistic person who just cares about themselves and doesn't mind if they hurt you, or maybe they actually derive some sadistic pleasure out of hurting you. Could be. But at any rate, for a while, this is all good. But then they hurt you. And you feel the pain in your heart. And over time, that pain will slowly rust away and dissolve and be carried away in the wind. And it's okay. But if they hurt you again, and then they hurt you again, it builds up faster than it can dissolve away, and you start to harbor this discontentment and pain in your heart. And the pain is something that you create as your reaction to the situation that they have foisted upon you. And soon you discover that you don't really enjoy that pain, and so you build up a defense for it. You put on some armor. You put on a bulletproof vest so those things that they throw at you can't reach your tender heart. And that works for a little bit, a little while, in a little bit of a way. But it kind of limits your mobility too. It's not quite as comfortable wearing the armor, but it's what you feel like you have to do. Unfortunately, it's not really effective. It stops some of the pain, not all of it. Pain keeps coming in. Now, you don't want to just walk away from this person because there's a lot of good there, but there's also the pain. And so you build up more armor. You decide what you need to do is you need a moat. You dig a moat around yourself to keep the pain at bay. Inside the moat, you build a wall that's 2 feet thick and 12 feet tall. A big brick wall. And you sit inside of your walls to keep the pain from coming in. Stops a lot of it. But unfortunately, it doesn't stop the occasional cannonball thrown over the top. And the problem with the walls is that it keeps the pain out, but it also keeps the pain in. And you keep banking this pain, and you find yourself up to your knees in a sea of pain inside of this walled enclosure. And the walls keep you from seeing the outside world. You can't see the meadow. You can't hear the birds. You can't see the sunrise, and you can't see the sunset. You've built yourself a prison, sitting inside of your walls with your pain. The walls keep the pain from coming in, but they also keep the pain trapped within. But you don't want to tear down the wall, because the wall's there to protect you. You've learned that lesson. So that's the dilemma. And even if you get away from this individual who's the source of your perceived pain, there you are. You still have your walls, and you're still knee-deep in that pain. So what's the answer? You've got to dissipate the pain. You've got to let it go, because it's killing you. And you could tear down the wall and be vulnerable and let the pain drain away. But that's terrifying, because you built those walls for a good reason. You know it. What is the pain? Well, the other person didn't actually give you the pain. The other person created a situation, and you, piece by piece, assembled and built and constructed that pain, and you banked it, and it's sitting there next to you. You made it. It's your pain. It's not anybody else's pain. It's your pain. And because you built it, you can take it apart if you want to. You can start pulling the screws out and breaking the pieces down and taking apart that pain. It's not easy, because the pain is a form of energy. It's like a bristling fireball of energy. It's dangerous. And it wants to be thrown at something, maybe something that doesn't deserve it. And of course, that will just create a bad situation that'll probably create more pain. So you got to handle it with care. But you can, through mindfulness, maybe meditation, self-examination, you can look at that and you can start to take that pain apart piece by piece and break it down and dissipate it. It's just a form of energy. You could also very carefully handle it and mold it into something productive. You could use that energy and focus it into something that builds something rather than blows something up. But if that's 100 units of energy and pain, it's probably going to take you 50 units of additional energy to contain it and mold it and put it into something useful that's not destructive. And you got to take the walls down, because you're sitting inside of your own prison. You can't see the outside world. You can't see those sunrises and sunsets. It's terribly depressing. So you've got to disassemble those walls brick by brick. You put them up, and you've got to take them down if you want to live a happy life. But you don't want to be completely undefended, because you know that you got hurt once. So maybe you want to deconstruct those brick walls, fill in that moat, and put up some new walls. But these are walls made out of sliding glass doors. You got to keep up a little bit of self-protection, a little bit of discernment, but you don't want to block off the world. And a sliding glass door you can open up when it's safe and you're comfortable. You let in a breeze and let out some of the anger. Let it just dissipate into the wind. Just a metaphor for you. I don't have all the answers. I certainly don't. But I hope that maybe it resonates with you. If it does and it helps, I'm grateful. If it doesn't resonate with you, well, that's okay. We're all different. So thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you taking the time. And if you enjoy the channel, enjoy the content, if it brings you some value, please consider subscribing. And hopefully, I'll see you on another video soon.